Let me go backwards just a minute here and introduce you. This is Jake Everett. His
Send him this way.
His grandpa bought property in the Cove in 1920. Dad grew up in the Cove, stayed here until 1950.
That's a milk.
1957.
That's when we left.
So Jake was 12, and he is now property owner in the Cove on the old farm. Has a deer plantation back there in the woods.
Well, it didn't happen too much like this time for me, but yeah, Tommy didn't kill him a couple of bucks, 8-pointers. We try to limit it to 8-pointers, but they don't always happen. But they wasn't big 8-pointers, to be honest. But they, matter of fact, he always brings them by and tells me there they are. I want them painted, and I've got to look at them for the next 2 or 3 weeks. Take several coats of paint to get them like I want them, and
You need to show them what you grow down here.
So
too.
they,
Show them them pictures too.
well, they can,
Yeah.
they can welcome. Look, I found these while I was doing that.
So in response to my request to talk about cold weather and how we weather it in the country, is that a pun or something? What did I just say? Jake's the only one who responded, and I apologize. I think I could have gone to the library and probably gone into some archives and gotten a little more information on the blizzard of '93. So we might do an extension of this topic at some point. And since we're not formal, we can kind of throw it in.
We weren't here, but we were in Virginia, and we got it too. We got that same blizzard
Wow.
in '93.
In '93.
Yeah.
Yeah, people, they always remember that one. They don't remember the big snow we had in '88.
Right.
The blizzard takes, in your mind. That's what shows up when you start talking about snows is the blizzard. Of course, we got about 12-inch snow in the blizzard, wasn't it? Wasn't that
No, you
about
got
all?
more than that.
36 inches.
93 is the one that shut
36.
down 75.
36?
Yeah.
Yeah, they
That's
got 3 feet.
We're supposed to got that much here?
Yeah. Wasn't it 3 feet here? Or?
3 feet,
I
yeah.
was living on Cameron Hill.
Now, over there, we're close to where this gentleman lives, at Run Houses. He was running a dairy at that time, and that hill going north before you get to his house. Yeah, me and Roddy Rock never got over that. I think Rock finally took the tractor on and pulled that trailer you see there. But, of course, that's in '98. But the blizzard was in, no doubt, 93. But, yeah, we've never made it up that hill that run before you get to his house going north.
Yeah.
We go around a big sharp curve, and then you go up a little hill.
Straight up.
Yeah, Rodney had a fit. As a matter of fact, some of the dairy farmers and all had to dump milk because they couldn't get to them.
Mm-hmm.
You could only keep it so long, and of course you got a milky cow.
Yeah, you
And,
can't not do it. I bet.
You have to dump it or something to have room to store, because they got to be milked.
See, Ray would be able to tell us some
Of
of that.
course, Cordell might know a little bit about that milking more than I would. Him living with me, Grandpa over there, but. Of course, Cordell ain't old enough to
Yeah, I tried
do
to
it in
stay
milking. I
out
don't
of
think, did you,
it.
Cordell?
I tried to stay out of it, yeah.
My family was in the business.
Yeah.
When did we move here? We've been here 21 years.
21 years.
21 years, really?
21 and 22 in July, I guess.
No, you were here when I moved back.
No, 21 years, that's all. That's all. Just out here in the house, in the Bell's house.
Okay.
In the Bell house.
In the Bell House.
All these pictures here of these trucks was took at on Cloud Spring Road. That's where these. I
Okay.
worked there, and I took these lines on the job. I'm sure I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Roadway, you got your roadway down.
Yeah, that's a nice. Well, I ended up having to go to Nashville the last 9 years, but these was on Cloud Springs Road when it. Yeah, it was a big snow. And it lasted a long time. I don't remember how long the blizzard lasted.
Let's take just a minute and get some perspective on how life has changed in keeping warm in the winter, and some of the things that just seem so normal to us now that weren't available. So we've got a northerner's perspective here. And we actually would have 3 to 4 6 to 12-inch snows a year back in the 1950s. and 60s. School would be out maybe 2 or 3 days. Nobody panicked. It was just
It was still
okay.
bread and
We
milk
get
and
out of
s'mores.
school a few days, so my brothers and I would build snow forts and throw snowballs at each other.
Oh,
And there's plenty of sledding hills around here, so
Back in the
we'd go
day.
sledding and make snow cream. That was my favorite growing up. Throw a little sugar in the snow and milk and mix it up, and yummy.
wow.
And our house was heated by a wood stove, so that was a constant job for all of us,
year.
actually.
All year.
Yeah,
That was,
thankfully we have the trees to cut to have a big wood pile, but I remember hauling wood in from the outside pile to the back porch so it could get a little bit warmer and drier.
best
And
heat
then,
ever.
Yeah.
Best heat.
And the routine getting up, we had an upstairs, so that was fairly warm because the fire wouldn't go out till about 2 in the morning. And so it stayed fairly warm upstairs. And then my mother would be the first one up. She would start the stove. And then we would dress really quickly and run downstairs to stand by it.
Wow.
Yep.
So that house, I guess, just got central air. Do they have central air?
They do now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You probably like to sleep upstairs, or that heat rising.
It was fine. Yeah, I don't remember ever.
Yeah, the heat
Yeah.
rise, that ought to be ready to get warm up in the upper part.
Yeah, it was good.
And where was this at?
In the,
In that house?
yeah, in Stephanie's house.
Oh, Stephanie's. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Then one other thing I remember is that girls just didn't wear pants. Even little girls didn't wear pants back then. And when it was really cold, we were allowed to wear pants under our dresses to school, so that was more comfortable.
And they was probably made out of fire sacks.
The dresses were.
Thick
The dresses were.
and warm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear about that, and then you talk to somebody who actually did it. You know, dresses out of flour sacks.
That would be me.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a way that they sold their flour. If they had pretty flour sacks, people would buy the flour. Kinda
You got a
interesting.
nice
So-
dress.
Yeah.
So
Well, what was the flour sack made out of then?
it was cotton.
Makes
It
sense.
just
Interesting.
yeah. And I'm not sure if there was a competition between the companies to produce prettier fabrics or what, but yeah, that,
And they had patterns on them.
Yeah.
yeah,
You know,
you could.
they
Yeah.
made them that way because
And then you
they
could
knew
cut it
people were
out.
going to make clothing out of them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't
So
never
that's
remember wearing any. I probably did, but I don't really remember it.
Yeah, no, we bought our pants at Weiner's department store in Lafayette. You remember that?
What was it?
Weiner's.
No, I didn't ever get to go to Fayette much.
Yeah, we didn't go to town much at all, but Weiner's was right there in the middle of the square, kind of where that dress shop is now.
Used to be a theater
And the
there.
Boston store, yeah, used to be a theater.
It's 20 cents.
Yeah.
I chose not to go to the movie one day because I wanted to buy a fishing fly, artificial bait. And I didn't go to the movie, and I went and bought me a little fishing fly. I was even a fisherman back in the
You had it.
50s, yeah.
Yeah, you had it on your mind, didn't you?
Yeah, all the time, yeah. I spent a lot of time. That's on the farm at Mountain Cove. They had the lake. You ever been over that lake, Cordell? Over foot of Pigeon Mountain?
Oh yeah.
Well, we caught a lot of fish out of there, bluegills and shell crackers. That's where Daddy liked the frog gig, because there wasn't no bass in that lake at that time, and you just had the brim and the shell crackers, and they couldn't keep the frogs eat up enough, and if you had bass in it, you wouldn't have near as many frogs.
Know that.
Yeah, Daddy loved the frog gig, and yeah, we gigged a lot of different places. Well, not so much of him. After I got a little older, we go around and sneak in a lot of lakes, to be honest. Pull up there and run gig it right quick and get back in the car and leave. No, that wasn't the right thing to do, but sometimes you had to do what you had to do. But one lake wouldn't satisfy us, you know.
Yeah.
People didn't want to dig gigging the frogs too much.
No, that was the thing to do.
Don't have nothing to do with snow, does it?
No. I bet you didn't do it in the winter though, did you?
No. Couldn't find them. They happen. They go down in the mud, I guess,
Well,
like a turtle.
I'll just stay on that rabbit trail, Jake. My cousins from Detroit used to come down for the summer, Aunt Bessie's kids, and so recently, in the last 3 or 4 years, I'd asked my cousin what was her favorite thing when she would come down here, and she said, "Oh, when your dad took us frog giving, that
Oh,
was
really?
just awesome."
So
And
it's
I don't
a-
remember it. She's a couple of 3 years. Well, she's 4 years older than me. So I was the little one in the group, and I didn't remember going. But she said, "Yeah, we all went. We all got
He
to get
took them over
frogs."
here on the pond by the barn, I'm sure.
Yeah.
We called it frog friggin' though.
Yeah, I get that way over by the barn that way.
Yeah.
He took them.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to get in there. There used to be a lot of fish in that pond.
Yeah.
Is it even any water in it now, Dick?
A little bit.
A little bit. Yeah, it was a nice pond at one time.
It's got a big hole in it now. It won't hold water.
So has anybody else got stories about keeping warm when you were young?
Keeping warm.
Was that a challenge in
Oh my
New
God.
York?
We didn't have wood burning stove, but the house that we bought, I think I was 7, had, they call them radiators.
Mm-hmm.
They're about the size of that table with the desserts on, and they were solid metal. And I don't know, I guess the wood, the water heater, I guess, I don't remember how it got hot, but there was one in the living room.
They were oil, wasn't it?
It was,
Oil?
No, they
it was
were
about, they were long,
Wow.
and they're about this big, and they're about 2 feet or 1.5 feet off the wall,
Yeah.
and water would flow in through them and would get hot. There was one in my parents' bedroom, and there was 2 other bedrooms for 7 kids, do the math. My brother and I lived in the attic, and in the wintertime, it wasn't that bad because of what you talked about, the heat rose.
Right.
In the summertime,
The opposite.
we both had a box fan by our bed.
Yeah.
It'd be 100 degrees every day.
Yeah. So let me back up. This is Tony Marandino. Been in the Cove
16 years.
16 years. Okay. And originally from
Born in Brooklyn, Staten Island, and went to college in Chattanooga, UTC. So I got down in the South in 1975. Yeah, those things, we hover around those, radiator, depending on how you say it.
I've heard it both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did the colder weather affect schools in that part of the
We
country?
just thought it was normal.
Yeah.
Well, we were a mile from the school. My dad made us walk.
Oh, you can really say
We
through the
didn't,
snow.
they didn't want us at home. There's too many of us to go to school.
Yeah.
And you never see those, they call them galoshes, boots.
Yep.
That have those big metal buckles.
Yeah.
Everybody had a pair of those.
Yeah.
And you put those over your school
Clothes,
clothes.
those were in the army, Jake. You remember galoshes in the army, don't you?
Yeah, yeah. No
Metal.
snap.
Snap
Metals,
clips.
Yeah. You know, I found one of them snaps in a Civil War camp, one Civil War regiment.
Wow.
Used to go on them.
Yeah.
Yeah, people used to use a lot of blankets too, you know. I believe it was RC. I was wanting to think it was y'all. Well, it'd been kin to y'all too, but somewhere in Emergency, I think RC set us up over there.
Yeah.
Did he have a brother or somebody or Susan?
His brother lived over there, and I used.
So me and Jimmy went over there one night, and they didn't have much heat, and she come in there and piled blankets on us, and we couldn't even turn over. You know, you had to get up to go to the restroom or something. You're in trouble. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, it was odd. I mean, they go in there, they think, boy, I'm gonna pile these blankets. He'll stay warm as all.
Yeah.
But
Well, and-
it was a burden in a way. But
You
you
don't
know,
have air conditioning back then, though?
No.
Yeah, I didn't either, so I was curious.
That brings up another cultural time era thing, and that's making quilts. Most everybody I knew, I don't remember that we had a quilting circle here in the Cove per se, but my mom had the what do you call it? quilting rack.
The rack.
Frame.
that we know
Yeah,
of.
to hold,
Yeah.
to hold it while you're
It-
sewing it.
You put it on hooks from the ceiling, and then 3 or 4 people can sit around it and do the quilting.
And you just raise it up.
And then you raise it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then my grandmother, who lived in Kensington, was a very good seamstress, and she left at her death about 6 quilt tops
Oh.
that we spread out among the family. But that was another thing, that you just made your covers and kept warm.
Well, I started coming down here in
It's not the same
'65 when Jenny and I first
I didn't give you a chance to.
first started dating. And I would come down generally in October and in the early spring. And I never experienced snow here, but I did experience terrible freezing rains in the early springtime, late January, February, or something like that. I just remember that it was cold, and it was damp cold, which to me is the worst kind. But coming down here was always a joy for me because I was a city boy. I grew up in Washington D.C. area, so once I started dating Jenny and come down here, and it was great, just being away from everything and being out in the country.
I do have one other story from the '93. Isabel Kaiser lives down on West Cove Road, and she was a nurse and was working at Tri-County Hospital, we called it then.
I still do.
And I do too. And so she said, I had to go to work. And I said, well, how'd you get there? And she said, well, we had a 4-wheel drive vehicle and managed, to get me into work. But of course, all the staff didn't show up. And so she said her doctor supervisor came to her after so many hours. She said, I have no idea how long I worked straight. But he came and invited her to go to this facility they had at a time for people that needed to come in the night before surgery or something. It was like a small motel kind of thing. And so she said her doctor sent her there to get some rest and get a shower and take a break from having worked an extendedly long period of time. And that was in the '93 storm.
Well, I lived in South Georgia for years and years. Statesboro, Savannah, Tybee. Hot in the winter. Hot. So when I moved up here, my mom and stepdad lived in Metter, and we would go down there for Thanksgiving. And me and my mother would wake up really early, in the morning, and go to Savannah to go shopping. Black Friday. That's what we used to do back then. And I'd wear shorts.
Yes.
We didn't need sweaters and jackets and stuff.
Right.
Now I just went a couple weeks ago to Tybee, and it was freezing. Freezing. I couldn't even walk on the beach. It was so cold. And I used to live on Tybee, and it was never like this.
Yeah.
Never. It was always just warm in the winter. Never even thought. We didn't even have jackets. I'd go barefoot. Yeah.
It's definitely different.
It is freezing. It is not the same. Not the same at all.
Well, I had a scientist tell me when I was on my trip to Antarctica, ask him about the icebergs melting and that kind of thing. He said,
they're melting.
He said, we're always going into or coming out of climate change. Guys, I just thought that having kind of an open forum about things that had happened in the winter in the Cove might work, but I don't have the history, and you guys don't have the history. Jake's going to share something with us. Did you bring your pictures from the...
I did, but all I got is, it's not real interesting pictures down here, to be honest, but I do have some of the snow, and I didn't find the ones of the blizzard in '93, but I hadn't went through all my pictures, but this is in '88. We had a foot of snow in '88.
Okay.
You remember that, Cordell? I remember it very distinctly because I went fishing. I think these pictures is took on the 7th of. Well, I'll look at ones out here in just a minute. Get the right
Might have
one.
dates on the back of them.
1788 was when the snow was, but I went to Nickajack and fished 112. That's when I caught my biggest bass of mine. I caught a 911 that day.
Wow.
All them mountains at Helltown down off of 41, all them mountains were snow capped over. It's beautiful down there fishing. But some of the old farmers would remember that truck. You can see that, Jenny. That's
That was down in South Pittsburgh, right?
sir.
That's really down in South Pittsburgh, Nickajack.
Yeah. Well, South Pittsburgh down on the lower end of
Yeah, I
Nickajack.
mean, that's the location.
Yeah.